Hello and welcome back, class. Today we're going to do listening and speaking lesson, and this involves English speakers with accents. So it's really important to understand that even like here in the United States, in many regional areas like the South and the Northeast and various other regions, you get different accents. And also, we have in the United States people from all over the world, and these people all have their own different accents. Some of these accents are very slight, and some of these accents are so thick or strong that it's often hard to understand what you hear them saying. So it's good to understand speakers with thick accents. Okay, so I know this is an intermediate class. Most of you have some English background, some good vocabulary. You can do sentences. It's a good job. So we're going to start looking a little bit at listening to these accents today. Okay. So I pretty much described the objective for you. Basically, what we want to do in this lesson is we're going to listen to a bunch of different accents from different people in a video, and then after that, we're going to listen to a thick New York accent, and the gentleman is telling a story, and we want to write that story in our own words. So the idea, and then you're going to speak it. You're going to come up and project it on the screen so that you can hear yourself speaking and hear what kind of accent you have. Okay. So that's the object, and the warm up is explain the importance of being able to understand people speaking with accents. I pretty much just did that. You have to, there's so many people, especially in the US, with so many different accents. You have to be able to communicate with them. Okay. Um, then as a model, we're gonna watch a video where a young lady she's trying to do many different accents, and I think that's going to give you a good indication of how different these accents can be. And then we're going to do a guided practice where we're going to work together in teams, and I'm going to go around and help the group to interpret the gentleman with given the story from New York City into your own words, to summarize it into your own words. But then in the independent practice, you're going to complete that summary and present it to the class via your cell phone. You're going to record it, and then we're going to project it up here. That's where we're going to use technology, and then you're going to be able to hear your own accent. Okay, and then the assessment is as described. Okay, so as I said, listening to English speakers involves people with many different accents. Okay, these are regional accents and national accents from other countries. So like I said, you have people from Texas, New Jersey, um, Boston, New York City. You have them from the South. You have people from even in California. Maybe they don't have an accent, but they use some words that are so unique to their culture that they could be qualified as a accent. And that gets me to a really great point. Is often accents are not only just the way we accent the the word, but it's also a choice of slang words. Like, for example, in New York City, they might say use guys, but you're not going to hear that anywhere else. But in the South, people might say, hey, y'all, come down here. Now, it's important to distinguish that people may speak this way and they may use these terms during speak, but they never write it that way unless they're trying to make a point. If they write, they would like somebody write in a paper or a news article in New York would never say use guys, okay? So it's primarily a spoken thing, okay? So as we go ahead, so here's the young lady. We're gonna watch her video, okay? she's lighthearted. It's hard to talk about some of these issues without offending anyone, but this is important stuff to understand. And she, she demonstrates British, French, Russian, Indian, Mexican, Texas, Southern, New York City, New Jersey, and Scottish, and even some more. So she demonstrates these, and I don't think anybody could do all those perfectly, but I think she does a pretty good job, okay? And so we're going to watch her video, and then we're going to discuss that video after we watch it. And I want you to just get a feel of how many different accents there are within the United States from people from different regions, and then within the United States from people that come from different countries. Okay. Okay, so after that, we're going to do the guided practice. So this gentleman, we're going to watch this video. This gentleman, he describes very well what the New York accent is, where it comes from, okay, the different sounds you have to make to get it. And then he tells a story using the thick New York accent. And the story can be somewhat hard to follow, okay, because of the accent. So I'm not requiring you to do this all by yourself. We're going to break into groups and you guys can work on summarizing the story he tells in your own words. And at the same time, I'm going to be walking around and helping you, okay? So if you feel like you need some help interpreting what he's saying and getting that into English, then that's what we're going to do. Okay, so if I just make a quick note, so if we go back to this lady's video, I want to ask you guys, do you think an accent is good or bad? That's a hard question to answer because she even mentions, she gives an example of a British accent, and she says if a man speaks this British accent, she would just be immediately in love with him. Lucky guy, right? Okay, but here's the thing. Also, a British accent can come off as being kind of snobbish, like you think you're better than other people. So I think accents have good and bad. Most accents have good and bad. I think New York City, they have that accent. It makes them sound and look tough, but at the same time, it could make them look like they're blue collar and not really too educated. And same with Southern accent. So that's why a lot of the people they project this accent to fit into the culture or their environment, but when they write it, they're not using this accent. Okay, so I would say many accents would have a good and bad connotation, but if you want to work in business, the goal is to try to have no accent. Okay, I'm not saying that's always the case, but generally, yes. So we'll go through the guided practice, and then for the independent practice, all you're going to do is take your summary, record it on the iPhone, and then we're going to project it up here and you'll hear yourself speak, okay? And then after that, you'll be graded. I'm only going to grade you on your ability to listen to an accent and put that in your own words and speak, okay? All right, so thanks a lot. Let's get started, and I hope you have a lot of fun.